Hello everyone, this is CrankyDroogs with another video. Hope you enjoy.
Brains. Well, we were sitting here trying to work out what to do for our next video, and a bit of a stumbling block as always.
And TigerTurtle came up with the topic of dreams.
Because I had a very, very random dream last night.
And I always leap at the opportunity to psychoanalyze my colleague here. He having the freaky mind that he has.
Anyway, to the topic at hand.
Indeed.
People have considered dreams to be very important in the past. I personally don't consider dreams to be important. I consider them to be dreams and something that, you know, is just...
I think they can be very, very revealing.
They can be, sure, but I also think they're just a way of, as you know, they strictly are, of filtering the information that you've got during the day into something useful in your brain somewhere. So I do look at it from a scientific point of view in that sense.
Yeah, totally.
Course,
That's what I mean, yeah.
I do sometimes question how certain dreams come about. So, for instance, last night, I had a dream, and basically... That one day! I had a dream!
Yes.
But it wasn't to, you know, sort out inequality or anything like that. No, it wasn't that interesting. So basically, I was in my dream, and I had the ability to step through a portal to seemingly anywhere I wanted to go. But I can't really remember. So, of course, the first thing I decided to do, being completely British and having no connections to Poland or any way, shape or form, I decided that I would step through this portal into a Polish supermarket.
The natural choice?
The complete natural choice. Now, obviously, don't ask me why, because I've never been to a Polish supermarket.
And
neither of us have. I don't, you know...
do they exist in the UK?
Well, yes, they do. I've seen a few. You know, I did live with a Pole last year, but I mean, again, I never went and in any way did anything with him, so really there's absolutely no reason for it. But I walked into this supermarket, and for some reason, and obviously me, again, not having any idea of the contents of Polish supermarkets, meant that somehow I was able to buy a 10-kilogram bag of fish.
Is that a lot of fish? 10 kilograms?
I mean, it was a big bag of fish. It said 10 kilograms on it. Whether it was actually 10 kilograms or not is...
it actually said 10...
It did say 10... It was a big blue plain bag.
What kind of fish was it?
I don't know. It was just a bag of fish.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. It was that random. And it was just a plain blue bag with 10 kilograms.
Oh, there's me dying.
So I knew it was 10 kilograms of fish. And it was really cheap. So I thought, well, actually, I'd quite like to have that cheap fish.
Okay. Oh, so in the context of the dream, you saw a load of fish.
Yeah. I didn't see the fish. It was just in a bag.
It was just in a bag, and it was going on the cheap.
It was on the cheap.
And so you saw an
opportunity.
opportunity.
I thought, I like fish, and I thought, you know what? Although I won't be able to eat this by myself, I thought, actually, you know what? Me and my family might be able to get through this much fish before it goes off.
Okay.
So basically, that seemed like a good idea to me at the time, so I picked up the fish. I don't actually remember buying it. I think I walked out with it. And actually, I think the end of the dream might have been me feeling really guilty because...
Did you pay for it?
Well, no, I think this was another issue. I think a Polish guy then came back through and said, are you going to pay for this? And then actually I had to go back through this portal and say, oh my God, I'm really sorry, because it's like this weird thing where I can just go through this portal.
Did he follow you through the portal?
He followed me back through and took me back to pay, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
That's embarrassing.
Well, I know, and especially since it was so cheap, I was like, well, Jesus, I feel really bad.
So you thought it was really fucking cheap?
Exactly.
You thought it was going for free, so you thought, I'll have that.
Well, exactly. So, I mean, yeah, that was pretty much it. But it was really weird, and I woke up and I thought I was a bit disappointed that I didn't have this fish. You know, one of those kind of situations.
Wait, so you gave the fish back?
No, I took the fish. I went back and paid.
You went. How much was it?
It was like £15.
It was still cheap.
Oh, it was ridiculously cheap.
Still ridiculously cheap. Okay.
Yeah. They didn't care because they were like, oh, you know, shit happens.
Yeah.
And they just let me go back and pay. And so, yeah, I walked away with this bag of fish. The other thing that I seem to remember is that, although 10 kilograms isn't very heavy, this was a really big bag of fish. And I was holding it with one hand as if it didn't weigh anything.
Oh. Interesting.
So, I mean...
Maybe it was... I don't know, kind of metaphorical.
Yeah, I don't know whether this prophesies that I'm going to die tomorrow, or whether, you know, I have bountiful amounts of fish in my life.
Well, let's try and do some psychoanalysis here.
Sure, okay.
So the contents of the important bits of the dream are as follows: the being able to step through portals, the going to a Polish supermarket, not a normal, supermarket, but it's Polish,
for no apparent reason,
buying fish, but not only buying fish, buying a shit ton of fish. And buying it on the cheap.
On the cheap.
Now, first of all, I already know that you're a cheap bastard.
Okay.
So that's
more through circumstance than it is me just being a cheap bastard. In my defence,
it makes sense that would have featured in the dream.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So the Polish part, I have no fucking clue what that's about.
Maybe I was Polish like 13,000 generations back.
The stepping through portals bit though.
Can some of these things actually be analysed is another question.
Hit markers with the throwing knife.
I know,
there
honestly,
it is. Unbelievable.
The worst thing that's ever happened in the history of COD.
Anyway.
Fortunately, it got the kill, so it wasn't an issue.
Yes, it went well.
Okay, back to the topic at
Back to
hand.
the topic at hand.
Thanks for stealing my phrase there, friend.
No worries. You didn't copyright it.
No, I didn't. You're right. I should have. And I will do after this video. Check it out.
So we have the Polish supermarket.
Which is a common.
And by
everyday
a
thing.
lot of-
Don't forget, we also don't live. I mean, I'm talking about when I'm in Birmingham here, and you know there are Polish supermarkets.
But where we live now,
There's no such thing. I mean, you know,
there's not a great
no.
Polish community where we live.
Well, it's starting to develop
Oh,
on the big.
but not in particular.
No,
Would it linger in your conscience?
no, definitely not.
You're conscious.
I can't say I've actually met more than about one Polish person around at the moment, and certainly not for a few days. So it's definitely got nothing to do with actual Poles.
If anything, I think it just illuminates the fact that you are one freaky bastard. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed our video. If any of you have had any weird and wonderful dreams in particular, let us know in the comments. We'd love to know. Until then, see ya.